So I told you, I take you to some weird spaces. The other tours, there's nothing to see here, obviously, for them. So first off, all of you spirit box and communication device people, this is a space where I'm going to start withholding information on purpose. I'm not going to be giving you things to look for, like what color was George Washington's white horse. You're going to get the answers from your spirit boxes and or communication device that I'm going to call the Ouija board. So you guys get the point of this. This way everybody has a genuine experience. So this way you guys have to tell me every little thing that you're hearing, so that way I can see if it actually ties in or not. I know it's something that's going to sound silly, like, it was just a DJ. I know it was just a DJ. What the hell did a DJ say? So a lot of people just don't get that concept at first, so that's why I make that joke. But anyway, where are we? We're at the Charles and Eliza Pinckney mansion site. Their mansion actually used to sit in the front of this space. And Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. So that's the layout of the land. Who the hell were these people? Somebody lost their car. Like, I can see Nate's face all lit up now. That's what you look like in the daytime. But anyway, a lot of people, when they go back to find my picture, they're like, you don't look anything. I'm like, yeah, you saw me at night. So, but anyway. Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Chucks. That's why we look for secondary clues. I need to know which Charles is coming through in the event that the name Charles actually came through. You guys are getting my point, I hope. So the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for us, but I hate politics probably more than Peyton does, so we're going to move on. So we're going to talk about Eliza, because she has a much better story anyway. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I bring this up specifically because if you're going to ask her how old she was between the spirit box folks, you're not going to get numbers from the colonial times that she actually came from, like 12 and 14. Think of today's standards. What do you got?
Got a Q. HYQ.
HYQ. Yeah, a whole lot of nothing. Probably have the sensitivity down too low too. Again, there's things I'm going to have to show you about that. You're probably going to have at least 200 letters pop up out of there, just so you know, all night long.
I do have paranoia issues.
Maybe it's not a good thing I gave you that. When you ask Eliza how old she was when she got married, again, it's not going to be 12 and 14. Think of today's standards, and the reason I bring that up is because her husband, Charles, was over double her age. So kind of a creepy age gap in the 1700s, creepy age gap now. Yes, wow, I was correct. I saw that. But anyway, she married Charles because her father was over in England, where she's from, and he thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all his kids home one last time. Eliza didn't believe he was dying. So instead, she gets married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that particular year to get a green card. We're not a country yet. She did marry him out of love. There's no foul play, no affair, nothing like that. So please don't poke the bear. This is a prominent English woman. But anyway, she was right. Dad did not die right away. Instead, he started sending her gifts from England to where we're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. You guys have been in town for at least a day, you've seen the word indigo somewhere, I can guarantee you. That's a plant that makes blue dye that makes her blue jeans blue. And now that we have lights on everybody, nobody's wearing it tonight. Neat. Normally I have at least one example. Amber, you failed us. You were supposed to wear jeans tonight. But anyway, that's how we use it. But when Eliza got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's not hot here all the time. Then she had to learn how to make the dye. When she did that, she moves it to a cash crop, got a hold of her dad and said, rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with the indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Something absolutely unheard of. So that's the boring business shit of Eliza. Let's get into the crazy stuff, because that's why you guys are here. So with each set of spirit boxes that are communication devices that are out here, I'm going to kind of give you a gist of questions to focus on. Keep in mind, don't get discouraged when you're not getting direct answers. You're asking a question, Amber can get the answer. So we never know where it's actually going to fall. Your TV shows and movies love to put up one spirit box at a time and hope and pray that they're going to answer through that. We have 3 video cameras, my voice recorder, 3 spirit boxes, and a Ouija board. It's going to come out somewhere. So that's just kind of how it works. If they're going to answer, we just don't know where it's going to come out. So when we do spread out in this location, we're going to stay away from vehicles, especially those with cameras, and we definitely don't go in between or in front of cars. Kind of limits our space tonight, but it looks like we're going to have one more car leaving, so we should open up a little bit. All right, so let's go with, let's see, where do we want to start? We'll start with yours, Nicole. So I'm going to go right to left tonight. With your particular... I just want to make sure it's spinning. You're not spinning. What'd you do? You broke it already.
I broke it. I just touched, this is the volume, right? Here.
Yeah, you should be hearing it rotate. You hear the stations moving?
I do.
Okay, that's what you want. Just happened to notice you had 87.5, which is the start of the FM radio stations. But anyway, your questions, or your focus questions, are going to be Eliza's death questions. By the way, feel free to cherry pick off of anything else that I give. If you're going to go rogue, just make sure it's not a yes/no question and it's something we can prove. If you're going to ask anything about the slaves, I can't prove any of that. Trust me, I dug and dug and dug. Eliza's death, how old she was, what she died from, where she's buried, what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So those are questions we commonly get the answers to. Those are going to be your focal questions once we kind of get moving around. Next spirit box, that's going to be Amber. So your spirit box, we're going to go with the children on this one, just because you're a mom. So we're going to go with that. I'm also going to ask you to please tread lightly. I don't always hand out this set of questions because this is where things can get temperamental with Eliza. We'll talk more about that before we leave, but 2 questions and 2 questions alone. How many children did she have? What were their names? That's it. There's a tragedy among those kids. If you start poking the bear, all activity stops. Matthew, have you seen anything come up there yet?
The highest was when we were walking under the power lines. It was like 7.3.
Okay. So when we're on sidewalks, our parking meters actually have electrical lines underneath the sidewalk, so it's going to make it go off. So you can ignore it. It's usually when we're in spaces like this where I'm like, we're good. There's no electrical anything in here. Trust me. Tested it hundreds of times. So just don't poke the bear on that, Amber. And if you do, we're all going to know because we're not going to have anything else going on. So Nate, with yours, we're going to be looking for Eliza's initials. So again, I'm going to keep you and Matthew behind to explain your devices a little bit further. But Eliza's initials, the odd thing about that is that there's 2 different Elizas that we're kind of talking about here. Charles married 2 women, both named Eliza, back to back. First one dies in January, then he marries the one we just talked about 5 months later. Kind of a jerk move. But both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. So we have gotten ELP on that thing in that specific order because those are her initials. We just don't know which one it belongs to. There is another type of spirit box communication piece that we're not using tonight that will normally tell us which one it is, but lately it's definitely been the second one, which I still haven't told you guys what that is yet. So Sarah, with your spirit box, yours is going to be nice and simple as well. The mansion's not here anymore unless you can see it, because I can't. So you can ask what happened to it, and if you get the what, we normally get 2 or 3 numbers of the when for the date. So again, we've had all 3 numbers for the date show up along with what the tragedy was. I'm obviously giving you some type of clue of what actually occurred to it. So kind of keep that in mind. You may or may not get answers from anybody else's questions as well. I'm giving those simple questions to this one specifically because it's usually only going to give you 1 to 2 syllables at a time that you can fully understand because it's going to be in small bursts. So Nate and Matthew are going to stay behind with me. Everybody else is going to spread about. If you have a spirit box with earbuds, by all means share that earbud with somebody else that you came with so that way they can actually listen in with you. Some people aren't very good at this. It's okay. You've never done this before. Yeah, exactly. So, and that's why we always have at least 1 recording. So everybody else, let's spread out. Nate and Matthew, stay back here with me and I'll kind of show you guys how to work those devices a little bit further.
I believe it was the first Liza because I know if something happened to her and I got with another Amber, that'd be scary as hell.
I hear. Here.
Just walk right over here.
Yeah,
I hear something.
she already told me.
I don't want it.
You don't want it?
It's scary. So we're just supposed to walk around? What did you just
So
hear?
I got it.
What are you supposed to do? I'm just supposed to watch if anybody's got to be.
Ask Eliza how many children she had. And she's supposed to answer if they're here.
And I'm supposed to see if
Children's
some.
names.
And I'm supposed to see if anybody's about to be attacked by a ghost. Because I have this little thing where everybody stick figures, even the ghosts. The ghosts are going to be flying around, and they're going to probably go close to a person. Oh no, I see a ghost. I see a ghost. Mommy, I see a ghost over here. I do know. Because look. Look. Mommy, look. Do you see that thing keep on popping around? That's the ghost.
We'll keep looking around.
Oh my god. Mommy, this is scary.
Let's walk over there and see if it pops back up.
Let me see. Yep, it popped back up. It's right there. It's right there. Mommy, it's right there. Mommy, it's right there. So, it was seriously right there. You know we're walking closer to it. I saw one right there. I saw a stick figure right there, though. There's one right there. Where?
Just kind of keep that in mind. You're gonna
Mommy, this is scary.
kind of a stretch, right?
I have a question. There's like light effect. Because I know that truck's light.
I saw a stick figure.
So we had a 3.3. Light is not going to affect. So you're not going to give it anything below a 3.3 at this point. You're going to keep it moving up. So if you get a 5, you're not going to give me anything below that 5. And keep moving it up so that way I don't have a whole notebook full of numbers. So again, 18 to 22 is the average speed here, but you like
Mommy, seriously, this is scary.
So how many children did you have, Eliza? And what were their names? 18 and 19 said. I don't think that's real.
What about 18 plus 19? Should we tell him? Tell her what were their names. I'll make sure there ain't a ghost. Okay? I saw one. I saw one right there. I did though. I have to make sure. Mommy, he's floating or that thing is floating around like crazy. Look at it.
Don't point it at the cars though. Kind of hold it down.
Okay. Mommy, this is scary. Can we go back over there? I just want to make sure they're safe. Bubba and Daddy are safe. So I'll make sure that there ain't a ghost. So I'll keep them safe.
Actually, I want to talk to Peyton for a second. Kind of see what they got going on. So Peyton, what I'm going to tell you guys about this particular camera. Welcome to Fridays. Your camera is what they call a depth perception camera. So anything that's in front of something else, it's going to put some stick figure stuff on it. So don't get too excited every time you see a little stick figure. So what I'm looking for out of this guy, and I figured you were going to be helping out with this, watching it, is if you see a full body shape, so that's like the head, the shoulders, arms, legs. The head, normally, if it's actually something going on, it's going to have 3 points, 2 for the eyes, 1 for the nose, because that's the depth of our face. So that's where I get excited, and I'll actually take a screenshot of it and brighten it up to make sure it's not a street sign, make sure it's not a car, make sure it's not one of us in the dark, you know, those kind of things. So as long as you're recording and moving slow, hopefully we're going to capture something pretty good with that guy tonight. So that's all you got to do. You just don't need to get excited every time you see something, because it's going to capture a lot. So, because there's a lot of things in front of other things here. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Also, for some reason, I keep on seeing stick figures flying around, but not whole ones.
so in the trees, all the leaves are in front of another leaf. So trees are not her friend. So just so you kind of have that idea.
Like,
Keep it.
I just got like a 17.7 right here and a 12.12 right there.
seriously, I'm seeing like a
There's no-
stick
it would be a
figure
12
over
point.
there. Like,
There's only one number after the point. So is it 12.2, and then a
I
17.2?
seen the stick figure
Remember,
over
he
there.
said it's
7,
not
12, 2,
anything unless it has eyes and a nose. So pointing at my face. You see eyes and a nose?
See,
No.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
She might be too close. Well, she can't see anything because you're in the dark.
Just got a 40.
Nice. 40. Nate, you convinced yet?
Not really. Like I said, you can't sleep in the places I have. It's kind of believing it.
Well, again,
So
I'm
the
not
thing
afraid of
I'm
it.
looking
That
for is
doesn't
3
bother me at all.
dots.
If I was in the spaces you were sleeping in, I probably would have just taken gear and stayed back and fine.
There was a white building, like it was an old convenience store. It had been abandoned since I could remember, but I'd always sneak in there and sleep during the winter. All my life, I heard that there was an old woman that she seen going back upstairs and stuff. And I'd go up there and sleep. I said that's the one that's part of the house. I'd go up there and sleep. I was like, if there is, she welcomes me. Needed the company.
24.6. Highest is 40.
Huh?
The highest I got was 40.
I just got Abraham.
Lincoln?
Something, it just said Abraham.
He said one of the presidents were out here.
Okay, well, I just didn't know how it was.
Said the when the president. Said when the president.
There's no right or wrong way.
Okay.
So, and like we were talking about astral projection earlier,
Right.
you know, it's the same principle. Like it's going to be different for everybody. Like my process of getting that started is going to be different from your process. Some people get direct answers. Some people just listen. Like they're thinking about like maybe what happens in the mansion, like hoping for an answer, and then it goes to somebody else's spirit box. You know, it happens all the time. I mean, as much as I'm out here, like there's different things that I see. I see a lot of people that are comfortable like them, where they're going to be talking to people they can't see.
Right.
Versus other people that have never done this and a little hesitant to be like, let me just focus on her death and see what occurs.
Right.
Kind of see what happens. So again, there's no right or wrong. Do what's comfortable for you. Have fun with it. That's the point.
Yeah.
I just
I
got
know,
Abraham.
Abraham. That's a weird name.
I kept getting one.
Like
One for sure was the big
Abraham
thing
Lincoln. Like Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln.
Yeah, that Abraham that's a weird name.
Yeah.
For this location, it's weird. Like there's no tie to Lincoln here, if you're wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a weird name for me. For some reason in here it looks like Daddy and Bubba are fighting. Hey Daddy, Bubba. From in here it looks like you guys are fighting.
Why do you keep tapping? Don't do that. Don't do that.
Columbia.
This Christopher Columbus.
You got something to hurt? Maybe you need to write these down.
I think we're just supposed to tell him.
Yeah, we're just supposed to.
Columbus.
Columbus.
Columbia.
Columbia. Well, that's a city, and that's our capital in South Carolina. So that's just weird that you're hearing it down here, because that's in the middle of a state. Okay. All right.
It's not every word you hear though that comes through.
So
Because I hear a lot of stuff.
if you're hearing something like, let's put it this way, it's also a 50-50 shot. So if you hear like go buy a Hyundai today,
Right,
obviously the word Hyundai is not going to mean anything
No.
because people can call it.
Yeah.
But again, if you're hearing like weird things like Abraham,
I heard black.
okay.
There was another word after it. It was like something. It's all together, but that's yeah.
Names and numbers.
I have to move it slow.
Why you calling for my booty? Let's talk.
Let's try to stay together. Hey, back.
Run it on mama. 4.3. 4.1.
Family vacation. Family vacation. The Braves, $500.
You're picking up a radio station.
Mommy, for some reason it looks like there's like something like behind you in this. For some reason.
Like it's following me?
Like it looks like it's kind of like following.
That's creepy.
But like it doesn't have an eye and a nose. It looks creepy to me.
156.
156?
I think so. It was either 156 or 153.
Where was that pointing at?
That way.
Hey, I got a letter when you said that. You.
Remember, be watching it move kind of slow.
156.
Hey.
Huh? Making sure. For some,
Shit.
Mommy,
Real shit.
Mommy, I'm saying like the line's like making like a circle or something. Look.
Remember, he said it'll pick up other stuff, but it's gotta have eyes and nose for it to be a ghost.
has eyes and nose. Okay, tell her how many children she has to carry. How many children does she have again? Maybe
I hope I don't get no eggs. I won't go out to loud. I hope I don't
think
get
it
no
was
eggs.
15
I won't go out to loud.
36.7. That's what I think. Hey.
I just got 36.7.
Nice. So your new base is going to be 25. Go up in this corner up here.
Let's go.
As Natalia and Nicole go.
I think they went towards the dumpsters.
Okay. Any other numbers on there, Matthew?
No.
So now you guys can see, like, it didn't actually stay put. It actually probably went to that 30 whatever and then dropped really down low. That was just somebody sweeping by you. If it was something man-made, it would stay at a steady 30 to 35, 30 to 35. It would stay within that bracket. So if you had a quick, like, and even that 40 something that you gave me, like, again, it probably went all the way back down to underneath 5, which is not a man-made object for sure. So again, I expect those things around this location between 18 to 22. When we get above that, that's where I start getting excited. Amber, did you hear anything else coming out of there? By the way, that Columbia piece is relevant. We found out they're from Columbia. So again, sometimes you guys bring people, and that's kind of how things go. Might be a full conversation. It's only one piece at this point. Hopefully, what's being recorded out of yours, you just missed something else. So it's kind of how that works.
There's always a piece to the puzzle.
Always. Have you guys heard anything else going on over there?
I don't know if it's anything bad news.
That you know of. Remember, I'm withholding information. So what have you heard?
She was obsessed. Well, I'm not saying she was. I heard obsessed with him.
Okay.
And I don't know. I just feel like pain.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of onto something. Normally I would call it at this point, but let's do one more quick little lap of when you guys spread out. I'll do one more round robin with everybody, and then I'll pull us all to the back and give you guys all the answers. I want to see if Matthew's device goes any higher than what he's already gotten.
Then I know how the eyes
curiosity,
and
to
the
be honest
nose
with
work.
you.
I just
We've
saw
gotten
it.
some other odd little things that you guys have heard, but I want to see if anything else is going to kind of tie
See
and wrap the things up.
eyes and nose.
But yeah, let's do
Yeah.
one more spread out. And
That's
then
what I'm looking for whenever nobody's there, right?
Yeah, I'm going to head towards the back, and then I'll talk kind of.
He told me I'll get a lot of letters. That I can have.
A lot of
Supposed to
them.
have this antenna up.
Yeah, I think you are actually. No, actually, maybe not. I don't know. Ask him.
He's over there.
Gonna put that in. Let's go over towards the dumpsters.
Nothing.
My mom is hearing family.
I'm getting a lot of letters.
Clayton, come over here. Push your car back, please.
I'm making sure. Do you not want me to make sure you're safe?
Creepy. I just heard laughing.
Murder. Huh? What if all this is real? All this is real.
At least. It's just.
I'll get away from this.
Is that what you heard?
Can I have some earbuds?
It was the end of my life. Is that what you?
I think you're just rich.
No. It was something of my life. No, I really did hear. Get away
Scary,
from this
scary.
place.
It's just a rain.
It's
Come on,
scary
but I really did
sounding.
get away from this place. That last one, it was a bit of a stretch because all I heard was of my life. Get away from this place. That's kind of...
Tell him though. Tell him.
I heard onion.
I've been wondering because it's so funny.
Just left Florida. The guy down there, he took a fishing tour. That's my thing. He literally get on his boat, he takes you out in the ocean, he hands you a fishing pole, and he sits off the back of the boat and fishes.
Yep.
I was like, which I mean, we
He
put
also
in
caught a
too.
baby shark.
Baby
shark.
So just like fishing would be for you.
Yeah, like she's on the fence, like she's talked about places in her history. They've had
We'll just circle.
and her family's experienced. I don't think anybody in our family's ever experienced anything. We've had more of an
Just
issue.
had, I mean, that 40, that's nothing to be playing around with. Like, that's not a, I'm going to explain that once I get everybody back here. Amber, you got anything coming out of there at all?
I actually did whenever I was listening to it with her. I heard get away from this place.
Also, we heard onion.
Onion?
Onion. I don't think that's relevant though, but
No. Might be to somebody else, though. We already heard Columbia. So, all right, come on back in, ladies. Where'd the other two go?
Get away from this place. That sounds pretty.
So normally the things that are like get out, like the trope from the movies, like I don't normally accept that stuff. So you didn't see me like whipping out my pen and paper for get away from
Whenever
it.
I was watching 28 Days Haunted, it just said get out.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff on 28 Days Haunted was kind of made up. A lot of it.
Most.
But in essence, I'm kind of doing a 28 days
Except the
experiment every
buildings.
single month. So when I watched it, I'm like, this is what I do every day. Like this is my job. So.
I'm turned on the Avengers.
All right, where'd the other two go?
Yeah.
They're right there. They're right in the corner. I can tell you, I just had tears. Like, I can emotionally feel, like, and maybe I am crazy, but we heard it come through say, I'm here. Like, in a woman's voice. I don't know if it's goosebumps, head to toe, and tears coming. Huh?
You're not the one that's recording, though.
And tears coming down. Like, I can feel, I'm over there, and I am like, I just started. Like,
Did it sound
I'm
like radio?
Yeah, it came on the radio.
Okay.
Like, it was.
Let's get the other two ladies back here.
Why am I gonna be crying at this time? Like,
Which
the
corner are they
energy, they're right behind the dumpster.
Oh.
The energy, though, because I'm an empath. Like, I feel people. Like, it's crazy word, but I didn't
Tears
expect.
are real, though. Like, you can
Like,
definitely.
that's. She just seemed like I could not fake cry. I don't cry that much,
Can't drop tears of
but
drops of
wow,
dime.
crazy.
This one can.
I could, what?
I said this one could drop tears out.
Oh my God, that could not. Like at that area, if I went back over there, I bet it would come right back. Like I could feel it over there. I could feel.
Anything else major that you two heard over there?
She's here.
Come back with love and just to sound like whatever happened, happened exactly happened. I have to say, access no more.
Okay. That makes sense here, doesn't it?
But I don't think it was because of the tragedy. And when I asked about the tragedy, they said it was love.
So, this will all make sense here shortly. So, whenever we wrap up the space, I kind of break out the tablet, but I always like to kind of talk about what I'm excited about first. So, most exciting thing I think that I'm excited about, obviously we have some direct emotion of they heard I'm here, and then the tears started coming, like it's literal emotion. Started coming through. We did get all the
That
way up
area
to
over there makes you want to just cry, like you feel it squeezing your chest, like you just.
That one did it over there for me.
Yeah, that
one
like
over
over
there.
there, I felt it in my back the second I got over there.
Oh.
But over there, it squeezed my chest, and you just felt like you just wanted to break
it is
down and
remember which
cry.
portion of the land that you're on.
Yeah.
So the
Slaves.
and serving quarters back here.
That person over there felt like more
I saw one with
like
the
they
eyes
were
and
in
face.
heartbreaking.
Over
because
there.
And we both felt that at the same time. I mean, when I reached up and it just
No,
hurt.
it's like in the
And
middle
I
of
went
them.
like this, and she turned around and she my heart just like it.
I don't want to touch this.
Those of you with cameras, if you want to stop your cameras to give your hands a break, by all means do so.
Stop your camera.
So,
Finally.
for those of you with cameras, when tourists start coming through here, they'll normally come either out of that ivy wall just behind you, or they'll start coming in from this end. We kind of split the seas and let them go through. And I always stop talking to let them go through. There might be actually somebody coming through now. But anyway, normally they'll go down about halfway. I like to stop here so we just stay out of their way. Alright, so nothing other, I got all this stuff because Matthew kept running up and telling me everything that you heard. You got dangerous territory. I wrote them all down, whatever you told me. So I didn't feel like there was anything super relevant on this space particularly. Did you get any letters back there?
A bunch of.
There's a specific set of initials we're looking for in here. So whenever we're in a new space, you go ahead and reset it so we have a nice fresh start. You're going to be specifically looking for the letters RI, and that's going to make a lot of sense here in just a minute. But welcome to Philadelphia Alley. So this used to be called Duelers Alley because this is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. I say some because dueling was illegal at the time. They had to kind of find a hiding spot. This used to be one of them. We all tell the same story of the same duel because we can prove that it happened, but we're not doing campfire marshmallow stories like the other two. So we're going to be going into a little bit more detail. So here's how the story goes. There's a doctor that moves down here from Rhode Island. There's your first RI. So he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of the cash flow. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's cash. By the way, the doctor's full name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. If the YouTube back there actually hear the song Brown Eyed Girl come through, it's not coincidence. We get it here all the time. It's part of his name.
Blad?
Ladd.
Okay. 'Cause I had BLAD a minute ago. I was like, Blad. Me and her were laughing about it.
Oh. You still heard very close phonetic sounding to his name. So it's close, but no cigar. Oh man, here he comes. Ask how our ghost hunting's going.
Yeah, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? I ain't gonna ask about no ghost hunting. I'm trying to come now. I tell you what, thought my people's nasty come on the next street.
So anyway, back to the doctor. Dr. Ladd moves down here to prove that he's not after Amanda's money, and the coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a good start to his stay in Charleston. I know history's long here, I'm sorry. But anyway, somebody was walking by and seeing exactly what was about to happen, how Dr. Ladd was about to be killed. His name was Ralph Isaacs. I'll stop there because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Ralph Isaacs, Rhode Island. Need a secondary clue. We were getting RI all the time on your spirit boxes, so I bought that device to see if we were actually getting letters from it. So I've had that thing for 5 to 6 months now, and we've had it about half a dozen times as I'm telling this part of the story. So take that for what it's worth. Now, Ralph tells the doctor, dude, you don't want to stay here. I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me to 59 Church Street. 59 is a prominent number for your spirit boxes. And we'll have a group of ladies passing by. So once they get here, I'll stop and we'll split the seas. You got it. But anyway, so he says, let's go to 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from these friends of mine and you'll be safe and good to go. Dr. Ladd took him up on the offer. They became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's money. Amanda gets wind of this and she's moving down so they can get married. Dr. Ladd became known as the whistling doctor because he's a pretty happy guy. This is the 1700s where men actually whistled all the time. Let's go ahead and let them pass through. Come on through, ladies. How we doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. No, don't apologize. You're fine. It's a perfect walkthrough. So I will tell you that every tour that comes down here will tell their guests to stop and listen for the whistles because they say you can hear the whistles from the doctor down here. The beauty of this for you is that we have 3 video cameras recording and my voice recorder. If there's going to be a whistle, it'll be recorded. So you don't have to actually stop and listen. But anyway, back to the doctor and Ralph. They go see plays together. That's why I said when she said plague, did she say play or plague? So they used to go see plays together and they couldn't sit next to each other because the doctor made more money. So it's just kind of how the hierarchy worked. He got better seats. That's how it goes. So, hi guys. So they go see Richard III one night, and they're on their way home, and they're talking about the new actress that was in town, and Dr. Ladd thought she was great, but Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée back home in Rhode Island, Amanda. It gets very ugly, and they go their separate ways. He's basically ripping on his girlfriend. So Ralph has friends around here, and he goes to his friends at the newspaper, and he tells the newspaper to put an ad in it to tell the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Dr. Ladd saw the ad and rebutted with, let's go to Dooller's Alley. Somebody's going to die. So they came down, they took their 10 paces away from each other, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air and shot. He didn't want to kill his friend, he just needed the courage and bravery to show up to the fight. So Ralph has his one bullet, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Dr. Ladd didn't die, he drops to the ground, where his friends picked him up, they took him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later on November 2nd of 1786. So, he refused medical treatment during those 10 days. I'm going to point out that the guy's a doctor. Gunshot wounds in 1786 are a lot different than gunshot wounds today. So he's probably just trying to bleed out the lead poisoning himself. So kind of a creepy thought on all that, but you know, to him bleed it out. So again, like I said, every tour tells you to listen for the whistles. On our spirit boxes, we've gotten a word whistle. We've had whistling parts of songs show up, just the whistling part, like a quick little, like again, I don't find that stuff coincidence. So think of like Guns N' Roses' Patience, there's a whistling part, the Moves Like Jagger song has a whistling part. These are just things that we've gotten in the past. You get a lot of clues relative to the space. The 59, the doctor's birthday will show up, which obviously I didn't even talk about. So we'll kind of see how this goes. But if you're going to try this on your own, I don't know how long you guys are going to be in town, and you're going to walk all the way through here and turn on your voice recorders from your phones to see if you can get a whistle out of that. Just keep in mind, every local knows the story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street throws a whistle down this alley. I do it every single night anyway, or at least when I used to park down the street, especially since I got kicked out of here. Let's talk about that, because that's the fun part of the story. All of a sudden, everybody's ears perked up like, oh shit, Nick got in trouble. But anyway, the alley didn't go all the way through this way. So there was a wall halfway between us and Cumberland Street. So that means the bricks on the other side are older than the bricks we're standing on. So that means those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there, along with fingerprint swipes and others. I'd always take people down there to kind of show off the history of like, this is how far away we've come from slavery. Like it was a big history moment for us. So, November 26th of 2020, my entire group of 10 is huddled around that brick waiting for something to happen. I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That's the last place you're going to find that kid. So, I'm trying to shoo him along because it's also outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I was just trying to be respectful. I didn't realize I was out of bounds. The new owner came out screaming. My daughter thought it was great because she was on the tour that night and her dad's getting yelled at. We moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't work Thanksgiving because I worked in retail management before this, mainly for Walmart for a good part of 20 years. You guys get my point why I'm never going to work at Thanksgiving again in my life. So, all thanks to you guys, all you shoppers out there. So. But anyway, the next day was November 28th. I called my partner that I had at the time that was teaching me about tourism and basically told him what happened. He said, dude, you can't go down that far. You're allowed to go down halfway or you got to reroute the group. So I decided that night, I'm going to reroute the group and just avoid this altogether. What I told my team was, I don't believe in this next space because I've never had anything happen there. I don't believe it's haunted, but we'll see what happens. Plus, I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. Before we left, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I didn't tell them who we were going to be investigating. The famous female pirate Anne Bonny. So I went, oh shit, maybe we are going to get something. Somebody else, once we got over there and I told them the little bit I did know about pirates, tickets were much cheaper and I could wing it back then. But anyway, somebody else heard the number 300. I don't know what that means. I write it down. I researched the next morning. We were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720. 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. So you guys are looking at me like, ooh, that's exciting. No, that was shoulder shrumped because here's my problem with pirates. Most pirate stories are based off of lore. I have a master's degree in creative writing and a bachelor's degree in journalism and English. I need facts and data in order to make sure what we're talking about is accurate. So I will tell you that half my library, I've read more damn books on pirates than I ever wanted to in my entire life, trying to make sure what we talk about here is accurate as I can possibly make it. It is also a hit or miss location, which is also why I kind of blend these two spaces together and why we get the bleed over from here over there. So we are going to be discussing pirates at the next location, but it's a 50-50 shot that she's even going to be there at the exact same time that we are. Hopefully you're going to get bleed over from here and her part of the story to see if we can actually get out of it. Those steady lights out of there are coming from the lampposts. Just so you know, anything steady or a full rhythm, like a steady pulse, is a man-made object. That's part of the reason of how I use that. Have you gotten anything in here? Because your baseline should be a 7 based on the lampposts that come up. And anybody hear anything before we leave the space and go talk about pirates? Wow, nothing? Any letters?
I heard air quality.
EGP. Air quality? That's because y'all are smoking. I joke because I'm a smoker too. All right, so are we ready to go learn about rated R pirates and see what we can get? For those of you with video cameras, if you want to keep them running, by all means do so. That is another popular corner for other tours that pass by. We're just going to stay out of their way and go find our corner. Again, I always like to take us way to the back of that space so we can get started. But let's see what we can get out of it. Did you get any footage down here at all? Great, so we have no footage from the filming. You're fired. No, I'm kidding.
You didn't have it on?
From over there?
From here.
Here.
That's okay.
I don't think not.
All right, let's go learn about some crazy pirates. You guys are a quiet group. I gotta get you guys riled up about that.
I'm just gonna keep it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Wait, where? Where?
Freaked me out for a second. So
Where?
Holy crap.
It was a cat at first, and this how its back was a pork chop.
Daddy, I'm trying to see. Where? So I'm just gonna hit stop until we get there.
You broke it. You're definitely fired now.
Definitely fired.
It happens all the time. No worries. Pop it back in there. This goes where a chart is. That's all.
There's a light so I can see perfect, so I can see if nobody's in there. So I can know if there's nobody there. She just got handcuffed. She just got handcuffed.
Probably, I had 7502.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
7502. 7502.
That's actually a good shot too. Sorry, just happened to look up. So 7502 and
Totally
handcuff.
random, like out of nowhere.
So welcome to the powder magazine. Normally I take us to the back, but it looked like there was a lot of cars back there. And it just kind of keeps us out of the way because a lot of the other tours, like, they come up
You
here.
told me to reset it when it started saying something. I had POWD.
What?
You know, when you say when we get to a new place to restart it.
POD?
I had POWD.
Can't make this stuff up, guys. I told you. 7502. And what was the other one? Handcuffs. What's weird is we're going to be talking about blindfolds later. Is there a lot of cars back there? Because, again, it's a Friday night. Other tours are going to pass through here. Yeah, let's go to the back. Just because, again, a lot of tours like to come up this way. And I just don't,
He is right there.
I don't have a pretty bright in this industry. I just stay out of the way.
What picture?
There's the moon right there.
Yep. That's a pretty view of the moon.
Yeah, I wish I wouldn't have reset it. I think it was going to say powder. I think it was going to say powder, but he said when we get to a new spot, reset it.
Yep. Pretty sure new ones are great. Other ones.
So, this is kind of a crazy walk of the story. Definitely get those cameras running. Looks like Peyton's already on it. Love how she's filming every person that walks by. Awesome. So,
Got into it, yeah.
I know, she's all about it. She's like, there's people walking, there's ghosts following them.
Super excited now.
So we are here for that little building, which is part of the reason why I started to take us over there. But again, I tell you a little bit of a different history of it. So that's the Gunpowder magazine. We've already had POWD. I'm stoked that Nate actually had something, and he's a little shocked. Like, oh shit, I screwed it up.
He's a believer now.
He might be. We might be.
Might be getting there.
Getting closer. So anyway, this building it's an interesting piece. First off, you need to know that those are not crosses on that building. Those are earthquake bolts. If you're not familiar with earthquake bolts, you guys haven't taken tours here yet, it's basically a set of turnbuckles. It goes all the way through the roof, so if we have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886 that I've already mentioned earlier, you can turn those turnbuckles and it tightens the building so it doesn't incur any further damage. So it's a great idea, it just doesn't work. So the reason I bring it up is because that's the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. The reason why is because that's the oldest government building we have here in South Carolina, finished in 1713. Okay, you guys are from South Carolina, so that's older than where you guys are from. And we're going to be talking about Columbia later on, too, so that's going to be interesting for you. Anyway, we're here because this building was being constructed at the same time that Anne Bonny came here to start a new life. This is what I call a familiar. For those of you that watch TV shows and YouTubers, they use that little teddy bear gadget to attract the child ghost. It's the same principle. They use that so that way the child ghost has something familiar and playful to be able to work with. We don't have many buildings this old. This is just something Anne Bonny would recognize. So kind of keep that in mind of why I said it's hit or miss. We do have other buildings somewhat close to this age, just not as old. Let's get into it. The building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? No, not at all. But anyway, the history actually begins right in the middle of it, 1708. Guys gotta follow me on this one because there's a lot of twists. I will slow down on the twists. Young lady moves here from Ireland. She's with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Are you guys with me so far? His girlfriend's Anne's mom. The three of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How pissed off was the wife that they had to leave the country by boat to come here? Just pointing that out. But anyway, they landed in Georgetown. That's just between us and Myrtle Beach, in case you're unfamiliar with South Carolina. It's about an hour north of here. Anyway, Dad bought a plantation there, and Mom died pretty quickly as soon as they got here. That means he has to send young Anne down here to be able to sell anything from the plantation to help keep things afloat, hence the familiar building. Now, Anne back home in Ireland was said to be a badass even back in Ireland. At the age of 7, 8, 9, how old is Peyton?
7.
Okay, so Peyton is 7. I want you guys to picture Peyton in this scenario. They say Anne killed one of her servants with a knife to the belly. So we have had the term servant's knife belly show up on 3 different spirit boxes without the other 2 people knowing what the other person heard. So take that for what it's worth. It is a rumor, but when I get confirmation like that, it does happen. Anyway, fast forward. The building's done in 1713. Pirates are starting to come through Charlestown in 1715. Anne is stoked because she's going to fall in love so she can earn her freedom just like a man. It's a man's world at this point. She wants her freedom. So, first guy she falls in love with. I said first because there's a handful and we're going to go through them. So that's the interesting part of the story. First guy is James Bonny. You already see where this one's going because we've already mentioned her pirate name. Dad didn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. Anne Cormac became Anne Bonny, a famous female pirate. However, James Bonny is not Captain Jack Sparrow like what she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. In other words, he's a coward. This is not who Anne wants, so she falls in love a few years later. This is guy number 2, John Rackham. They call him Calico Jack. This is the guy that they based your Johnny Depp character off of, just so you guys know who the hell this guy is. He has his own ship and his own crew. Anne wants to be part of the crew, but you can't put a girl on a pirate crew because it's bad luck. So he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like my crew, see, I was right. See all those tours going over there? And that's actually just one tour. See all those tours? It's one group. But anyway, if you dress like a guy, look like the crew, you can be part of it, but you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this. Why? Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. She gets it. It's a man's world. Most of us are adults here. Let's put 2 and 2 together. She's going to be a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Nobody's going to know that she's a girl. They drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby here, come back later, and we'll figure it out. She goes and has the baby, but returns without a child. We have no idea what happened to that baby, even with all the amount of research I've done on pirates. But she also comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty pissed off. He captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. To make Jack even more mad, Anne's going to go flirting with that pirate crew to make him pretty ticked off. We're on guy number 3, in case you lost track. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy, to be part of the crew that Calico Jack captured. Now we have 2 females, just like males on the same ship. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary became friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really know for sure, but the British found out where they are. They send a fleet of ships to come take down one measly little pirate ship. The rumor is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with their 1-bullet flintlocks. Probably because they didn't know how to use cannon jet, haven't been pirates for very long. You get the point. 2 ladies with flintlocks are not going to take on a whole Navy ship fleet. You get my point. They get arrested. As they're being arrested, Anne looks at her beau and captain, Calico Jack, and she says, "Jack, I'm so sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up here on your spirit boxes a lot. You may even get it spelled out because it's nice and short. I'll be very interested to see if that actually happens now that I brought it up, because it's never happened.
I got Ben.
Ben?
B-E-N.
Oh, that's interesting. What's
I had 406 earlier, and then separately 7.
I'm going to talk about 7 before we leave. Because we're going to see what else comes up with that. The 406 is also interesting, but not.
Really?
Yeah, I was
Really random.
going through like the dates in my head. So I look at that as April 6th.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta get my point. Anyway, the judge wants to see the two men that fought back so valiantly on their own after he's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. The two ladies go in front, reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves. The judge doesn't give a shit that they're female. Still gonna hang them. They're still pirates. They scream out, "We plead our bellies," which means they're claiming to be pregnant. You can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. They're trying to save themselves even further. He says fine. He delays the hanging, sends the boat back to jail. Dad's still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne. He brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're going to count Mary. We don't really know. And she has 4 kids and dies at the age of 84. Now, Mary Reed, I know, and that's a very abrupt ending for Mary, or for Anne, because we don't know much about her after her pirate career. Mary Reed died 5 months later in April. That's why I was looking at that 406 that she just said. And it was April 21st, if I'm not mistaken. So she died then from whatever pirates died from a Jamaican jail. Most books would tell you that it was something simple like fever. I'm going to say bullshit. Let's call it scurvy. It's romantic, right? We're talking pirates. So let's really liven it up. So you guys know how to ask questions by now. I'm not going to assign questions, but I'll kind of throw out a few things that I left out on purpose. So I left out, I'll give you an easy one at first, Anne Bonny's hair color. It is red, so you can ask about that. We do get that here often. The city that she grew up in Ireland. So I didn't mention that city specifically. It has been coming up more and more. I also left out the name of Anne Bonny's parents. I called them the father and the mistress. I do know the names. Let's see if we can find them. Last but not least, Calico Jack's ship. So I left that out on purpose. If you want to ask what the ship name was, we'll see how that actually turns out. Anything else you want to ask? This is not a prominent English woman like we were dealing with Eliza Pinckney. Poke the bear a little bit here. Stay out of the way of the other tours, the vehicles, you guys get the point, but we're going to stay within this lot. EMF detection. So Matthew, on your end, this is not the Pinckney Mansion site where we're going to get even a 7 to a 40, anywhere in between there. You get anything on this back half, I'm going to be super stoked. On the front half, you're getting closer to 2 electrical poles and parking meters on the other side of the bushes. So again, you're probably going to see little spikes between like 2 and 5. I'm going to debunk those right off the top. It's usually this back half where we get excited about anything. The Ouija board is interesting in here. We're going to see what happens with that. I'm going to see if the word dog actually shows up. But everybody else, you guys got the gist of how to use your devices. But yeah, let's just stand in the way of the other tourists because they'll look at you like you're a bunch of weirdos. And I don't need the other tourists going, "What's Nick doing? What you doing now?" Kind of stuff. That's you can smoke. You can smoke anywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you're all good.
I was about to say, I'll go over there, I think.
Father's Day is not bad. I am going to write it down. What they have. Are you into pirates at all?
I was back in 6th grade.
She heard 51 and 406 and 7. I don't know what any of those mean besides the 7. So, what I'm going to do, let me see your camera for just a second. Looks like you swiped it a little bit. So we're on the wrong screen. Make the people purple.
Why?
Because if we put it on where they look green, it's going to be confused with the camera that Caitlin is using because that uses the same type of filter. So I make sure like this one's green, that one's purple.
The highest I'm getting is
Look,
3.
Yep.
looks like mommy's dancing.
Just wiggling around a little bit.
I just hit the wrong button. I keep fixing
You
it.
keep
Sorry.
breaking all your
I
shit.
keep hitting the wrong. I went to do the volume and I hit the down button. There you go.
It looks like you're dancing from right here.
Oh, hit that record button again. I don't think I hit it. Oh, you're good.
You gotta do it slow.
You can
Remember, don't
vaporate.
point it at people.
Why can't I point it?
Bruh. Sick, but not high enough.
Mommy, why can't I hold it up like this? Huh? Because for me holding it up like this, it can barely see it. I can see it like this though. Except I'm going to be pointing it at the ground.
Tell him.
Wait, what? Over
Hmm?
here.
Heart attack. This car's about to leave soon.
For a heart attack. Tell him.
I'll go in a minute.
Ben flaps.
Yeah.
You gotta hold it. Really? Let me see. No, let me see.
Let me see.
Don't turn me.
Spin flips, spin flaps. I'm supposed to.
Let me see.
Spin flaps or spin flips.
6 to 8.
But I ain't got enough room to go.
Point it over to this corner and see if there's anything.
Come on, guys, get away from it. No. There ain't anything. Looks like you're dancing. Yeah, I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting. Yeah, so fake.
I think I figured out I can do this. Stop.
Wait, what did you get again?
6 to 8 and heart attack. Just wait till after.
Yeah, he will.
1.8. Right.
I'm just gonna sit right here and record. Ew, big bug. No, don't want any. Wait, what number did you get?
6 to 8 and heart attack.
I might actually make him get something probably. Like yeah. Yeah. Do you think we should tell him? Let's just tell him that you did. Let's just tell him what you were. Okay?
I just heard dog. Huh? I heard dog.
Hey, my mom just heard dog.
Did you hear dog?
I heard dog.
Nice. Told you.
I heard dog, heart attack, and 6 to 8.
While y'all were talking on the 29 come through. There was something that you heard. It sounded like it said end of the something, something, end of something, end of the something.
Anything coming up on your end, boss?
And there was just heart-related events.
It was
I heard heart attack and heart-related
something
events.
of the something.
That's predicting the future.
I don't remember the first and the last word.
Me.
It was after you started talking to us. But no, the reason I started looking up hearts is because I know in my past life that I was one. And actually, what's funny is I think it was Ann. And I don't know if it was that specific Ann or another Ann.
What's this?
Fine.
Hey, remember, don't do it at the corners.
Sorry, I was pointing.
I think I'm the one that's gonna have a heart attack. My chest is killing me. No, not because I'm thirsty. It's just like
Just drink some water.
pain.
Mommy, tell me what you hear. Okay? Because I'm going to be watching.
Didn't help.
Huh?
Didn't help.
Go sit down.
Heart attack.
Why are you crying? Just you. Ah! Tell me what you heard, okay? I thought thought I heard something coming down. What did it say?
$69 a year.
That's fake.
$69.
$69 a year.
Come on. Temperature just went up to 94.
Do you think we should stay over there with him?
I feel like I'm on Blue's Clues.
Huh?
I feel like I'm on Blue's Clues.
I just got up there. I just got up there. That's cool. 26,
For some reason, I'm
Those are
missing.
shadows. It's actually picking it up on those. That's scared me. Why do I got 777 on the? It was just 777.
77.
No. 779.
Let's see if I can see anything. Thought I saw something. Are you sure these ghosts are real?
See, now I keep skipping 777. I don't know.
Mommy.
This wall over here, kind of seeing you got this.
I definitely felt strong. Like super energy right over here. We heard Leslie, Bobby, Diamore, Ship, shot once, church. We heard church like 3 times in church. Definitely, yeah, 9924. Definitely got goosebumps. It was a strong energy.
I lost
I
some
could
of those.
feel
Okay.
like, whoa. What?
The church 99, Bob 24.
Wesley, that, what was the name you said? Oh, you got that?
That means my love.
One shot. And we heard doctor, but I couldn't hear what was after doctor.
Doesn't matter. You got doctor and shot. Told you we're gonna get bleed over.
Oh no, I feel it. Like right there. It was like,
Yeah, I mean, Philadelphia Alley is literally, it runs parallel to where we're standing. So that's why I said we would
Wait,
get
how many
bleed over
hours
both
has
of
it been?
you
Yeah.
from that piece of history.
I did hear it, Charleston over there.
Charleston's
And
I throw
I
out.
was like,
Yeah, I
maybe
throw
that
those
just
out.
comes out. Like,
Well, it comes out a lot because you're listening to Charleston radio stations.
okay.
So I just omit those.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's why I didn't say it. But
Amber?
I heard in the middle twice.
That's probably where the duel occurred. I can't prove that. But
right.
I might be getting some specific direction of where it occurred. Anything else out of there? Nothing? Just weird that she got all of that and you only had the one phrase.
Well, I had the heart attack and the heart problems earlier.
Yeah, I got all those.
Oh, we did have that too. Yep, we had a heart. It was a health issues. It said health issues. There was
I don't know
so
how
much
Anne
coming
died.
in
I mean,
so fast.
First off, she was 84 in the 1700s. That's older than Eliza's specific child, the one in Cuba. They will get things like, she stayed, or, along those lines, things that will tell us that the child didn't die. So, to my assumption of what has been heard here in the past, you're correct. So, the child may not have died in childbirth, but may have lived and she left the baby behind. So, I don't like to call babies it's. Like, to me, that's just weird. But she may have just left the baby behind, and so forth and so on. So, again, real-time moment. So you did get a silence of when you know what I mean? So it's not like you got an answer, but you more got a reaction, if that makes sense. That's what I call a real-time moment. So let's go over to this wall a little bit further. We're going to cover these answers and tell you about our last case, because it's definitely going to be weird. It's not what we've been doing. It's going to be a lot different than any readings at all, Matthew?
No, pass like always 3, just right here.
Like a 0.3 or up to a 3. Okay. so that was about average of what I said it was going to go up to, right? Any letters coming out of your Ouija? Nothing? We did hear the word dog, so very cool on you for hearing that. Trying to explain what it was. Oh, the number 7, that was what I wanted to explain. We normally get double 7s over here. It's Dr. Ladd's birthday, July 7th. We get it all the time. So it just depends on how it shows up. If it shows up in doubles, it's obviously relative to Dr. Ladd, but we also have John Calhoun, our 7th vice president, is buried on the other side of this wall. And the Powder magazine served in 7 different wars and 1 rebellion. So we never know where it really falls until we get another piece of context. Double 7s is usually a doctor thing. So again, there's probably another 7 on there somewhere that we just missed in real time. So before I actually cover the answers, I want to tell you why I give that heated warning at the top of the tour where I say, like, if you guys get ill, just let me know. A year ago, this past September, so about a year and a half ago now, I brought my group to the back like I normally do. Same size group as this, roughly 8 or 9 people. The kid next to me goes white as a ghost the minute we get over there. Like, he's fainting, like he's going down, and its temperature is a little bit cooler than this. So it's probably in the mid-60s, it's September. So anyway, I pick him up by his armpit so he doesn't hit his head on the ground, and his boyfriend picked him up from the other side of him. We brought him over here, sat him down, got him a bottle of water, he's feeling better, and I then told them the history that I told you about Anne Bonny. This used to be my last stop. I would spread everybody out after telling 2 or 3 different stories and say, go have fun, this is your last hurrah. However, these 2 guys pull me aside and say, Nick, we gotta tell you, we are 2 transgender males. Hey, 2 females dressed as males, just like Anne and Mary in the story on the tour. So this is the weird shit that I see. This is why when people tell me like they're self-claimed psychics or things like that, I need to know. Like, it's a big deal. Psychics and mediums normally don't make it past the Pinky Mansion site, especially if I give them a spirit box, which is exactly why you don't have one. It's a different type of communication, so especially when it's directly in your ear, like it's confusing to them. Like, they normally don't make it. They're passing out all the time. Especially when I first started doing this, I think I had 4 instances my first year, and they don't tell me that they're a psychic until they're on the gurney going to the emergency room. So yeah, take that for what it's worth, guys. This is just the weird shit that I see that I have to take precautions on. So I can't fully explain it, but it does make sense if you really think about it. Let's get into Anne Bonny and those answers, and then I'll tell you about our next space. So, Anne Bonny, this is one of the few pictures of this young lady you can find with a shirt on. Point that out because we got a lot of teenage boys on the group and I don't need angry moms leaving. But the reason for that is because she used to bare a breast to show men that they were just killed by a woman. So remember, she's dressed like a man, so they don't know that they were just killed by a woman. She thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, the names of her parents were William Cormac, Mary Brennan. So this was not another subliminal trick with Mary. We just happen to have 2 different Marys in the story. Mary Brennan was a servant for the Cormac family. That's a whole nother 30-minute scandal that we're not going to discuss, but because it's not relevant to more or less like what we're at and what we're doing. I also like to show you what Calico Jack looked like because everybody wants to see what they based Johnny Depp.
Record. I have to record in here. It's creepy.
This isn't like a horror movie at all.
Yeah, this is where it starts. The clown goes.
Shut up, don't scare
We're hunting ghosts, not clowns.
Yeah, mommy.
me. Scared of clowns, aren't you?
Y'all just watch y'all steps. These blocks are little.
I would.
Yeah, they're old, Daddy.
It's your pay, Patty. I will poop in your ear.
Mommy, are you glad that you don't hear blood? Do you not want to hear blood?
Bloody
Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Bad luck if you say Bloody Mary 3 times. Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary.
So what's going to happen here is you guys are going to sit here. We're going to go over by that monument. I'm going to give them a 5-minute history because I don't know everything about this space. When I hand you guys this equipment, don't put it on until we come back over. See like what the hell's Nick up to.
You got their hand on it. You know, you got to do that on the real one.
That's the first time that joke's ever been made. Right, so one goes to you, there's 2 little ear holes there, so you can kind of see it's not going to go all the way up the mind of the tours. We'll be passing through here, but they're going to want to see all this footage because they're not going to know the history until they get the data back. So again, you want to stay focused on the 2 young ladies sitting on the bench. So the first time I came here, I didn't know what we were going to find because this was, let's experiment, let's do it. So he says, go out to my cottage in Colombia and you can actually go finish working on the piece you're supposed to be working on, leave your wife Katie behind to mourn with her parents. So he goes out there and writes his last words. His last words were, beholder of brief mortality. Then he coughs and it lands on the page in a blood stain. So he had tuberculosis, just so you guys in case you catch on to that. By the way, beholder of brief mortality translates to person with a short life. So he died at the age of 38. He landed right on that page, and that's where he died. I will tell you that that blood stain is still on that page, and it looks like a man writing at his desk. They show this page one day a year at the Charleston Library Society on Halloween only. You have to be a member of the society to be able to see the book. But the internet's beautiful. I'm going to show you what the page looks like, and then we're going to go try to talk to Henry through the two ladies sitting on the bench. You guys are getting the point. I'm giving you just enough so we have enough to work with. So let me show you that blood stain, and then we will go and get to work. So this is the page that we talked about. And you can see where it looks just like a man writing at his desk. So see where it looks like a man writing at his desk? He looks like he's writing something down. So very creepy stuff. We do call this the blood book. So the word.
That's the bloody spit out.
Yep, that's it right there. I'll blow it up for you, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, pretty nuts. Good creepy story to end with. Let's see if we can get some kind of answers going out of these two ladies on the bench. So you're gonna have to help out.
I'm just gonna record them. Okay. See if we can get it.
First thing you guys need to know is, yeah, everybody's gonna be recording, and we're all
Make
gonna
sure you
stand
keep
really
the
nice
camera
and
on
tight.
them, honey.
So Natalia and Nate, I'm going to have you guys actually help out your family members when we go to put the earmuffs on, because they're going to be blindfolded already and won't be able to see everything. But a couple of things, I'm going to be keeping an eye on your breathing. In the event you start getting a little too heavy on breathing or hyperventilating, a family member is going to tap you on the knee to take the headphones off and that kind of thing. You're going to take those off yourself. If you're speaking too loud, they'll tap you on the shoulder. That means quiet it down a little bit, just whisper. We can hear you. So a lot of people get those headphones on, they can't hear anything, and they're shouting at us. So the other piece too is it's also okay to answer yes or no questions. You have no idea what questions I'm going to be asking. If you hear yes or no, feel free to answer it. But you're not going to know the questions because you're not going to hear me. You literally have to tell us everything you're hearing in real time. Don't forget to talk. So some people put these earmuffs on and they're just like, am I supposed to remember everything for 10 minutes? No, say it out loud. We're going to have it on audio for you. The other piece too, I just had something in my head. I forgot what it was. But who is the recordable one? Amber, that's yours, right? Yeah, so I'm going to stop your recording, so if I can hand that. We're going to stop it and restart it so you guys have a separate audio from just this session. And I still spot check this guy a little bit more in detail than I do the rest of the first recording. Up here. All right, so I'm only going to keep you under 10 minutes. The reason why any more than that is going to get a little disorienting. You'll start to sway a little bit, so it does get a little weird. All right, so blindfolds first.
So can I tap her elbow for too
Put
loud?
these on too.
And knee for taking
Shoulder
it
for too long. Put these
No,
on
I'm
too,
saying
right?
shoulder some.
Blindfold first, though.
No, but okay.
Alright.
And yeah, we're going to get in nice and tight here, guys, so.
Make sure you're videoing it.
Tap the shoulder.
You gotta step back
And
when
then
you
if I
get
say
both
tap
of
them
them.
out, it's on. And then earbuds after your blindfold. Get to a comfortable volume, and do not touch your spirit box once you set your volume. So we want to make sure you're not cheating. I've had teenagers try to cheat at this. Okay, once they got their earbuds in, so Nate, you're going to help her put those on top of her head. I'll take your Ouija board, or he can take it. It doesn't matter. Put her earmuffs on for her. Take your camera. Wow, she's on it. That's a first. Been doing this for over a month, and this hasn't happened where she just jumped right in. It is
She's ready.
11:15.
She's excited.
Again, we're only going to go for 10 minutes. You got your volume already set?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Recording.
Tap on the shoulder. It's too loud.
Good?
A little bit tighter, guys. We want to make sure. Let's go ahead and get a stand up. I want to make sure we're covering them.
Enjoy.
Keep an eye on that guy. I want to make sure things answers. Let's go to that as well. Okay, we are looking to speak to Henry Timrod. If you are here with us, we would like to hear what your occupation
Find the
is.
religion.
What is your occupation?
Being.
Henry Timrod, we need you to come through. These two young ladies on the bench can hear you. Can you tell us what your occupation is, please?
Off our wedding. Uncles. outside, pool. We got more. $1,000.
Henry, there's a lot coming through here. None of it's making sense. Wait, complaining a lot. Henry, you did say the word religious. Can you tell us what church is nearby? I'm trying to get proof that they're actually
Use
here.
your name.
What was the name? What's the name of the church?
Go.
Come on, Amber, give us something.
She's afraid.
Tree.
Henry Timrod, tell us the name of the church that is across the street, please. I should slow down. Henry, we're going to let you lead the way. So, do you want to talk about your family, your career?
Doctors.
Family, career, your death. Any of those things are subject.
Lonely. Stop.
We're not stopping yet. We just started, Henry.
Have a penalty. Get made. Genetics.
Williams.
What was the son's name? Anybody remember? It was named after Henry's father, William.
Henry.
Henry, can you tell us your occupation? You just gave us your name and your father's name.
Life is
Tap on the shoulder.
under
Henry,
morning routine.
Henry, we need something
Decade.
specific.
Top.
We got your name, and I appreciate that. Can you?
Aaliyah. He called me way before.
Henry Timrod, tell us your occupation, please. Looks like you're giving more answers to Miss Amber here. She's on my right-hand side.
Freak. For nights.
Can you tell us what just happened, Henry? What did we just hear?
Only.
What did we just hear? What happened? You guys see how I'm using real-time moments to try to get...
From within test.
Can you tell us what that person just did, Henry, that we just heard a minute ago?
Call now. Dream. Thank them. Champions.
Okay, Henry, we'll get back to you
Look at my
specifically.
garages. $199.
Henry, tell us your wife's name. Seems like you're giving us a lot of names tonight. Can you
You're
tell
mine.
what was your wife's name?
Support. Not in the bedroom.
5 minutes they've been under, just so you guys know. 5 to go.
First place I ever feel.
Henry Timrod.
I heard 911.
You're not.
Henry Timrod, tell us your wife's name, please.
You're supposed to forget.
Well, this is how I learn about you, Henry. You're supposed to be teaching me something.
You lost me.
Do we have somebody else here with us tonight, Henry? That's a yes-no formatted question. Is somebody else
You
here?
want to be with me?
Is somebody else here with you?
Recruiter, master, strike. It was affecting me in my life.
I've never had
You're
anybody
in
give us this
trouble.
much. So do you not want me to ask about the other people that might be here? That's a yes-no question. Should I be asking about them?
One guy at one stage was shot at the crack.
Good job.
My friendly friends had gotten forgotten.
Okay, so which friend do you want us to know about? Was it your college friend that invited you to his cottage? His name was Paul. by
Who
the
has
way.
lost
What was your friend's name where you actually went out to his cottage and wrote your last words?
A lot of needles. Enemy breaking. I died suddenly.
Yes, you did. Her breathing's getting a little heavy.
I was about to say she looks sick.
Watching you.
She getting pale?
There's a ghost here. There's two.
Her breathing's just getting a little heavy now.
Really good topics.
Henry.
Leave
Follow
out
you.
I know you're not going to follow me.
for you.
You're going to stay right here in Charleston where you belong. Why don't you tell us how you died?
It's all worth it.
How did you die?
I heard no.
Repair. Impress. Sudden.
Henry, tell us how you died. You're looking for the letters TB on there, Mr. Nate.
They find us.
She just said no.
Identical.
No.
Do you really?
Slay.
Take care of us.
Well, I'm trying to be respectful here, Henry, but you're not giving us many answers. We did.
So many
We
times.
got your first name. We got your father's name. I tried to get other names from you.
Stirred up more.
Yes, I'm stirring things up.
No one wants to see November 26th. 0%. 24 months.
24 months. You guys remember when Willie was
48
born?
Cost.
Big grab bag coming out of her.
Nobody's sitting.
The people that are sitting, those are the people you need to communicate through. They can hear you.
Taking this nation.
Henry, I'd really like for you to tell us how you passed away. How did you die, Henry?
Ready
This
to
top
quit.
half.
You
It's
want us to stop? That's a yes, no
G
question.
and a 0. Keep saying
Do you want us to stop?
McCarthy.
You can answer yes or no. Do you want us to stop? You said ready to quit.
We shop.
Should we stop trying to communicate with you tonight?
JC. Look over.
It's been almost 9 minutes, just so you guys know.
I got mine.
Henry Timrod, one last chance. Feel free to answer any of those specific questions that I asked
Dance one day.
about your family, your career, the names of your
The
family,
case saw.
how you died.
Case before you went away.
Just trying to keep her balance. Let's go ahead and tap her out. We'll wait for one more turn from Amber.
279.
279. Go ahead and tap her out. You feeling okay? You look like you're trying to keep your balance a little bit.
Yeah, I felt different times heart like racing. I mean, I was fine with it, but I felt like
Oh, wait, I can see your breathing was getting real heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy feeling in the chest?
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah, that's part of the disease of what the man had. That actually happened to me just a few weeks ago. They came out and they're like, I can't catch my breath. I feel like I got this burning in my chest. The gentleman we were trying to contact actually had tuberculosis. So, you, like, nonstop, holy cow. Like, I haven't seen that yet, where somebody literally was just talking and talking and talking and talking.
well, every time I've heard stuff this much, but I like can't repeat everything I've been
Right.
hearing on every session. Like,
Exactly.
So much.
So Amber, how were you feeling, by the way? Are you feeling okay?
Yeah.
Your breathing was perfectly fine. You were totally calm, which is good. You actually gave us probably the most answers. You did give us the person we're trying to contact's first name and his father's name. The ghost's name was Henry, and his father's name was William, which he named his son after, Willie. So again, I was pretty excited about that. You gave us 24 months. Willie was born on Christmas Eve, so we weren't asking about his birthday specifically. But again, why would we hear the number 24? So I would call this a slight success. So we did have a few answers. Let's go ahead and you see the button next to your volume at the very top? click that the opposite direction so it'll stop it. There you go. So now we have the full recording of what this actually occurred. So I do want Matthew and Nate to kind of take a quick lap around here, mainly in the grassy areas since we did have something going on here. We've gotten triple digits in here, so just kind of let me know what you find out of that, and we'll kind of see what we can get while I wrap up the rest of everybody else. So you can stay right here with Mom. She's like, yeah, I'm good with that. So I always like to make sure you guys are okay. Please don't get up right away, especially you because you were really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were watching. We both.
You look like you were about to get sick.
Oh.
And I even asked at one point, Natalia, like, does she look pale? I mean, she knows you better than anybody here, so we just want to make sure you're going to be okay. When she puts your hands down, that to me feels like you're probably feeling like you're swaying underneath there. Like, yeah, we got to get her out there. Because once you start, like, leaning, and that's when things can go a little haywire.
Yeah.
So this was an interesting one. So, again, a big